Have you ever wondered how a tiny pill relieves pain? Or how the food we eat turns into energy in our body? Or how a single cell, specifically the fertilized egg called the zygote, becomes a whole human being. Behind all these everyday miracles lies one fascinating science called biochemistry. Biochemistry is coined from two terms: bio, which comes from the Greek word bios, meaning life, and chemistry. So, just as the name implies, biochemistry is the chemistry of life. In other words, biochemistry explains life using chemistry. So, what does biochemistry study? Think of the cell as a tiny city. In this city, there is the government, like the nucleus. It contains the cell's genetic material and directing all cellular activities, much like the government of a city overseeing its operation and making decisions. In this city, you also find buildings like proteins. One good example is microtubules. There are different kinds of proteins, different shape, and different constituent of amino acids. There are also messengers. The first type of a messenger, in this case, we call the autocrine hormone. In autocrine, the cells that produce or synthesize the messengers is the same as the cell also that the messenger acts upon. This is called autocrine. The second type is paracrine. In this case, paracrine. In this case, this is the target cell. And this target cell is located nearby this is a target, and it is located nearby the cells that produce the hormone. The third type of messenger is called the endocrine. In this case, this cell, the cell that produces it, the hormones travels through the bloodstream or through the limbs to the target cell. This is a target cell, the target cell. And in each case, this is the receptor as well. This is the receptor, and this is also the receptor. Next is the power plant. called the mitochondria. Sometimes is called generally the powerhouse of the cell. The mitochondria are responsible for generating most of the cell's energy. The mitochondria convert nutrients into ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate, through a process called cellular respiration. The ATP is a primary energy currency of the cell. Next is the factories. Here the ribosomes. In the ribosomes, we have the large subunit, and the small subunit. Of course, this is the mRNA, the messenger RNA. We have the A site, that's the amino acyl tRNA. And the P site means the peptidyl tRNA binding site. The A is the binding site also of the amino acyl tRNA. Then the P is the peptidyl tRNA binding site. The E is the exit site. Ribosomes are responsible for protein synthesis. They act as protein factories of the cell, translating genetic codes from the mRNA into specific sequence of amino acids, which are then folded into functional protein. Next is the garbage collectors and waste treatment plant. Here we consider lysosome to be the garbage collectors and waste treatment plant. Lysosome break down and recycle cellular waste and foreign materials. It contains a variety of enzymes that digest different components of the cell when not needed, or foreign materials, for example, proteins, nucleic acids, carbohydrates, and lipids they digest. So therefore, they have different kinds of, or a variety of enzymes. So biochemistry studies all these components, the molecules, the organelles. Of course, as we noted earlier on, the molecules forms the organelles. Of course, from the cells forms the tissues, the tissues forms organs, and organs form system, and systems form or constitute the entire organisms. Organelles. Biochemistry studies all these components, how they work together. Let's look at some key components that biochemists ask. The first question is, what are the biomolecules, or what are the biomolecules made up of? And what are their three-dimensional structures. The second question is, how do these molecules interact? How do these molecules interact? 3. How do they build cells, tissues, and entire organisms? Cells, tissues, and entire organisms. We all are made up of these molecules. So biochemists are interested in this question, trying to know how these molecules, biomolecules, build cells, tissues, and the entire organisms. The fourth question is, how do cells control chemical reactions? For example, turning genes on or off. How do cells control the turning of genes, whether to turn it on or to turn it off? Number 5, how does a cell produce or synthesize or break down substances? Substances like proteins or fats or sugars. Number 6, how is energy captured, stored, and used in the cell? Number 7, what happens chemically when a living thing grows, ages, or dies? What happens? Biochemistry or biochemists are interested to know chemically what happened. Number 8, how is genetic information stored, copied, and expressed? Stored, copied, and expressed. Biochemistry or biochemists are interested in what happened. How is genetic information stored, copied, and expressed? So, next time you eat, you breathe, move, think, or dream, remember, it's all biochemistry in action. In this channel, we'll be diving into this fascinating world of biochemistry. We'll be exploring a lot of topics: proteins, enzymes, DNA, metabolism, and much more. Stay connected with Biochemia, where excellence meets purpose. If you find this video helpful, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I don't want you to forget to turn on your notification so you will be alerted whenever new videos are released.